Good evening. Who are the electrical engineers of the computer or computer engineers? They are the electricians of the computer system. They basically work on hardware in contrast to computer scientists works on software. Hardware is the as physical object that runs the computer, the CPU, the monitor, the keyboard, the mouse, the printer. Anything that you can physically touch is the concern of computer engineers, and this job is the important very important partner with computer scientists. They exist together, and computer science students and workers work together with computer engineers, and I suggest that they should be have collaboration, and when they do education they should partner together because the computers are ever changing. The flow of the data is so complex that this complexity results to instability, unstableness, and it's not just the software that is important. If the hardware has a physical limitation, and computer engineers doesn't get involved, then the software side will be stagnant, and it will become dead. The computer will become dead without the help of computer engineers work. So both are important, the science and the engineering aspects. So both should collaborate together, they should work together, and not everyone should study computer science mainly. Yes, it is fun to see the results of your work in in the monitor, in the screen, as a computer developer who focuses on software, but hardware is the body, and they also work on the soul of the system. It is not true that computer scientists have the sole right to touch the soul of the computer systems. You see, they design the vessels that computer electrical conductors of the computer. That's the job of computer engineers, where the electricity flows. Electricity is like the blood of the computers, and that gives life to the data that scientists work on. And so it can be said that computer engineers also work on the soul of the computer. So it is just that the scientists are more on the side of logic, and the hard the hardware engineers are more on the side of like doctors. They can physically manipulate the structure of the computers and how it works. And so both should adapt to each other, the scientists and the engineers. So if you're in the if you want to try computer engineering, this may be the reasons why. Um, you are a you are more of affiliated to materials rather than intellect. You may be an uh, you get satisfaction in materializing things, and not just the virtual aspect of the computer. And by that, it can be compared to people who like to be athletes rather than office workers. Athletes, they work on their physical bodies, while workers work on their mind abilities, and the engineers work on the physical machines. And That's maybe the primary reason why. And the advantages of computer engineers over computer scientists is that they are not limited to computers. Their knowledge in as an electrician also allows them to invent other electrical appliances in that are useful in homes and in electrical companies such as power supply companies. That's maybe the reason why you want to be a computer hardware engineer. So computer softwares computer software scientists develop the games, the applications, and computer hardware are more versatile in my opinion. So both should work together to be a successful developer, because hardware upgrades all the time to give a better experience to the user, to make it easier to use and to make it more powerful to use, and to give the users more abilities. And the hardware should keep up, and the hardware should be replaced with existing working parts like a vehicle, and that's the job of the engineers. and and the scientists will give the right system operating systems to command these machines to work, to accept input and give the desired output through the the structurized processes that scientists encode on them. So there are other jobs that makes a successful computer company that computer scientists and computer hardware engineers should work with, such as publicists. That means those who are in social medias and who speaks to the public, and to because compute because these scientists and engineers work on the computers most of the time, so they don't have enough time to market their work. And human resource publish public people are the best counterparts for them. So you got the hard scientists, the engineers, and the marketing people to team up together to advertise, work on the product, advertise, distribute the product. And that's all for today.